What's up? Got this Tucson here, and I've got its brother in here. Yeah, it's his fancier cousin. It's a TS-89, except this one's full titanium and M390. So this is kind of a is it worth the money upgrade video, because this would be an upgrade over this particular knife right here. So this one, it's got great action. It's got a great D2 blade with a satin finish on it. I mean, it's been sanded. I don't know how they do it, but it's got a really nice satin finish on it. It's beautiful. The action on it is pretty solid. It doesn't run like free flow, but a couple of shakes and it's in and out. These edges on this particular knife come really sharp. And so I don't know if you can see, but I took this to my kin onion belt sander and smoothed all these edges off. And it changed the dynamics of this knife because it was so sharp to touch that you didn't want to deal with it. I still could do more because of these metal liners. They're pretty pointy. So I could work on that, but just to do the scales, I pulled them off and kind of run them around and change the dynamics of the knife. It's a pretty thick knife. These scales are thick, and then the metal scales. So it's a fairly thick knife. The flipper tab's small. It's got the little scallop so that it allows you to get in that short amount of space. It allows you to get a pretty solid little grip there, and it functions. It runs really well. I do believe that this fuller can be used for a Spidey flick. I say that, and then there we go. You gotta want it. It's one of those, man. You really gotta want that, and then maybe a thumb flick. There. So again, you gotta want it. But I really like this knife. It's kind of chunky. Like I say, it's kind of chunky in the hand, and there's some sharp edges on it. Well, this one popped, and I've been watching auctions on eBay. I've had it here for about a month now, just sitting, and so it's been a while, but I still see them on eBay, and I really started to look closer at the images because one of the things I wanted to know, is it thinner and is it sharp on these edges like this one was, like this D2 was? And so as I'm looking at the images, it appeared that everything was chamfered, so no sharp edges, and it appeared to be quite a bit thinner. So I want to test that right now and see if in fact it is thinner. And I don't even have to go end to end to see that in fact it is quite a bit thinner. And I thought it was. When I was looking at it online, it's almost a full scale thinner. That whole G10 scale thinner. And so both points, looking at pictures, I thought it was going to bring it for me. And so I can tell now, holding it in my hand without even opening it, it's much more slender. So this looks exactly the same. The fuller, all of it. Let's get in it and see what's up. So the detent feels like it's a little shy compared to what that one is. That one's robust. But it was the first time being opened. And if I've learned anything, is that you can't judge a knife by that first pop. So it runs good. Spidey flick's okay. That fuller runs. How about that thumb? Yeah. Easier than that. action's pretty smooth on this. TS-89 and M390. I mean, on the surface, this seems like a legit upgrade. I mean, Hey, so let's get in it. Let's keep going. I'm going to put this one in sight because it was the inspiration for this one. Even though that was thick and I had to modify the handles a little bit, it's a nice enough knife that it got me really looking at the upgraded version. And now that it's in my hand, sometimes things go really right. You know what I mean? And so far, now there was a lot of Loctite on this. I say a lot, but there was definitely some that was Loctited in there. The only other screw I see down here is this pocket clip. So, unless it's got something underneath there, which I don't see it. I don't think so. I think that's a two screw pony. Great design on that pocket clip. One screw, but the design of this shape, that pocket clip's never going to turn in that hole. So yeah, I can tell that's all there was. Two screws. There's some oil in here. I don't really see a lot of dirt. So I mean, and all that means is that I'm not overly confident that I'm going to be able to make an improvement on this knife, which it was running pretty darn good. So if I don't, I'm going to be okay. It's got internal stop pins that are built into the blade. It's another upgrade feature. It's pretty solid. And I'm not sure the significance of this, but it's got a 109 marked on the inside of that scale. But there's a lot of skeletonizing, I don't know. It's got a lot of relief cuts, relief milling, there you go, on the inside of that scale. And this one, look, they even relieved on the lock bar. So they relieved on this as much as they could, everywhere they could. Which it shows, because this knife is much lighter than the original. I say that it's the original. Truth is, heck man, this might be the original and it's a reissue of that. So let me slow that roll, because that I do not know. This could have been the original when it first came out, and then these G10 versions and all that was a way to make it affordable. So I'm going to retract that part of my statement, because I don't know which one's the original. Either one's just as likely. Wong design of many of his knives. I mean, the bearing appears to be cleaning up, so maybe that brings me some hope that this action's just going to fall shut ridiculous. It's got a titanium backspacer that looks like a weapon from Planet Vulcan or something. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm going to say we're clean. Let's get it back together. I'm going to go to this scale, capture this pivot, and that. Racetrack washer. Keep those bearings off that titanium. Yeah, look at all the milling. Just a wonderful job of weight relief. Beautiful M390 blade. Pointy. This is one of those that I think looking at it, I liked it. But then as I started chasing it down in auctions, I started to get a sense that it was a grail knife for me. I really did. I started to go, really looking at the pictures and thinking to myself, hey, I think it's thinner. I think that the grip is smoother, like everything's been rounded and radiused, and it's going to be comfortable in the hand. And I don't know, I hope that didn't influence what I paid for it, because I think I did get a little impatient, which you can do in an eBay auction. You could just go, you know what, I'm buying this one. I don't care. Kind of like impatience like I just did on this thing. I was in such a hurry to get that together that I forgot the backspacer sitting right in front of me. So that's all right. We'll regroup. Take another run at it. Unique. This pin creates a lanyard loop. It's kind of cool. All right, we're back in business. Let's get back to where we were. Yeah, I love the shape of this pocket clip and how they've milled that in there. It'd be interesting to see how it runs in this divot, though, that they've created here, because whatever you put that on, it's got to get under that. So it's like crouching tiger, hidden jungle stuff going on there. We'll see. Okay. It's got plenty of spring, so yeah, don't prejudge it, man. Just hold on. We'll run it here in a minute. Check and see if we've got any play. No, solid. Let's check that action. I mean, maybe I loosen that up. Still tight. Better. I want to check something here. I want to take this lock bar and pivot the detent ball out of the equation, and I want to see if that blade's free. Yeah, it is. So whatever resistance I got in this action, it's because of that detent ball riding on there. So I meant to do it, but I didn't. I'm going to go in through here, and I'm going to put a little bit of oil down there on that detent ball. I don't know if you can see it in there, but I'm going to put just the tiniest little drop of oil on that, so that as it's riding on the blade, it's got some lubrication. Now, I get it. That ball's actually running right on the blade. So I doubt that that lubrication is going to get under it. But it's running good. It's not drop shut, but a shake and it's home. Pretty nice. All right, let's clean up the workspace here and get rid of our tools and wipe up this oil. Maybe give this a quick wipe. Just make sure we don't have any residual oil. Get a final thought on this action. I mean, I think that more that I run it, the better it's going to get, but it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's almost drop shut, almost. And it flies. I think I can fail it. Let's try. Yeah. So that detent will break and not fling that all the way out. But with just a little effort, it's gone. Spidey flick. Yep. It's got a nice little sound to it too. Thumb flick. All right, what about the grip? So it's thinner in hand than this one for sure. And it's got really nice jimping on the back of the spine. Pardon me. And it's got that same jimping on the back flipper that rests up on that finger. So in turn, what that does is create a very confident grip right here. This is locked in really well, and any forward resistance is going to be met and pushed through. The grip's not going to fail on this. It's got a very confident grip, and I would feel very confident personally carrying this as a self-defense weapon. No worries about that in hand and not having the proper grip on it. The pocket clips disappeared, which makes sense because it is disappeared. It's down in that machined area. You can choke up on this one. It's got a nice spot for that, so you can, whatever this is. And that blade's long. I mean, doing this, I realized, man, that thing's, you could reach out with that. Yeah. So, good grip. Let's check the clip. What's the clip on this one? It's the same thing. Interesting. I don't remember how that one runs, but we're about to find out. All right, here we go. Yeah, I don't think that's getting under them big pants, not without manipulating it. And it's not going to run very far because by the time you get up here, there's no space for that. So that's going to stick way out on thick pants. So that's not good. Yeah, that's as far as it's going to go on these thick pants. How about normal pants? It goes in easier and it goes in deeper, basically all the way. That's all the way in on those. So it runs on normal size pants, and I think that would be a one-hand operation. I think you could take that down in the pants. It runs pretty good. The tension is suspect. It doesn't have, on these normal pants, there's tension there. So let me retract that statement. It's just not a deep carry pocket clip. Yep, that's going to be out of the pocket the whole time. So on the pocket clip, I'm going to go meh. Yeah, not the greatest. I wonder how the other one did, because I don't remember. I think it's a different clip, looking at it. I think it's bigger. So, yeah, it's struggling here as well. What about normal pants? Normal pants, it's better than the other one. It's definitely bigger. It's profiled different than this one. It's thicker. This end is thicker right here. I may ultimately try this clip, this one on here, and see what it does. Because I believe this is the one that would get pocket time. So I may end up doing that. But as it is now, the pocket clip is meh, meh. Safety. Yeah, no contact with that blade anywhere there. How about the tip? Nope, no contact with the tip. So it doesn't have any safety design issues. Wonder if it's sharp. I need a new piece of paper. All right. I mean, I'll take that. That's just fun, honestly. Just phone book paper shredder. So super sharp out of the box. Oh, excuse me. So price and availability. So it is available out there. White Mountain Knives. I believe eBay. You can still find the auctions running. But White Mountain Knives, I think, has it for like $129. So if you take $12 out of that, you know, you're down to like $115 roughly for it. I paid $100 in a live auction for it. So for $100, titanium M390, notwithstanding the pocket clip, I think I'll swap that out and see if that runs better. Of course, one of the differences is this has got a frame lock and this one's got the liner lock. So I'm not sure if that'll run, but I think I'm going to check it and we'll see. Okay, so I checked and there's oddly enough differences that they don't work. The shaft on this spacer is bigger or smaller than the shaft on this one, so they don't swap. Now, I could modify it to work, but then it wouldn't work with the other one because it's too big or too small. So I think I'm just going to suffer through it for a minute. I'm going to mess with this tension and see if I just can't get it to run a little better in. If it'll do that, I'm okay with how high it rides. But it does work pretty good on just regular pants. So anyways, I appreciate you watching.